Hey y'all, look, y'all know who I am, Tequila Josephine on all social media platforms. And today I am in this city with a beautiful, beautiful Chi-Town girl taking over Atlanta's world, breaking all the rules, going solo blues, Miss Molly.
Oh,
how
wow.
are you?
Did you say Josephine?
Josephine, that's
like
me.
Josephine Baker. I've been out in Paris. She's one of my biggest influences. I love her.
I watched her a few
She was an
times.
activist.
Oh my gosh,
Did you know
Molly,
that?
your story, you just, oh my gosh, straight into it. Molly, how are you
Josephine
feeling
Baker,
today?
She marched right before Martin Luther King did his march on Washington. She spoke, she sang. She flew in from Paris to sing. How am I doing? I'm so happy to be here with you.
I'm so happy you're here. You are making some iconic waves out here in this blues world. First off, I want to say blues in 2024, unheard of. But I love your voice.
Thank you.
I love it. So angelic. And today we're talking about your single, No Place Like Home. No Place Like Home. So in this creative space that you held, creating No Place Like Home, tell me about it.
I mean, it was a journey. I won't go on. Long story short, I fell in love.
Okay.
Started singing again. I'm like a bird. I couldn't sing just for the money, the fame. Started singing and then went on a long process to get to where I am right now with this single. It was me tapping back into home in Chicago and supporting musicians there. And getting back in with people who I love very much, and then coming here, getting with a couple producers here, and then we dropped it during National Women's Month. So one of my favorite Earth Girls.
Beautiful.
If you know Earth Girl ATL, hashtag Earth Girl ATL. There's so many wonderful music and women who I've just like supported and loved so much. So we chose to do a song that Ashley produced. I hit her and I said, listen, we got to pay homage to the people where I'm from in Chicago, old Chicago blues. I sent her Little Walter, and she got the assignment, girl.
Got the assignment. Got the assignment.
Yes, honey.
So how was that experience working with Ashley?
You know, I've been supporting her, and she's been supporting me for a long time. We've been business partners. Like, I like to work with women who are talented, and she plays a gajillion instruments. And, you know, we've been down for each other. So to be able to have the first release be one of my favorite Earth Girls, she's amazing. She's on tour with Nicki Minaj with the songs she produced, playing the violin on tour, killing it. She's just special. So, you know, I like to work with people who have good God hearts. She's from Detroit, so shout out to the Midwest.
Shout out to the Midwest, Ashley.
Now, you said Chicago girl. I am very much a Chicago girl, but this song is about home, and it's not just about me going home to make a difference, which I've done. It's about Atlanta being my home. So doing this interview with you in the ATL, or in the City magazine. Shout out to everybody here. It's special for me because Atlanta really embraced me, and I mean, as a businesswoman, all the things that I carried from New York, from London, from LA, from Paris, it just all grew. I grew where I was planted here.
You have so many skills, like you're just filled with so many like gifts, and you just been around doing so many iconic things. You had your own studio.
Listen, I started with Alan Moore, and then I had a mentor. You ever see that show, Annie?
Okay, yes.
I was adopted by Richard Driehaus. He was my first angel investor, and he gave me the money for a studio and a travel to do music. And so for me, you said I do so many things.
You do.
I'm not 18, you know. I took a long, long time to hone my skills and to, you know, just live life. You know, I think if you're a great artist, you have lived life and you can relate to people, right?
Yes, if you are a great artist, because some of y'all. So back to No Place Like Home.
You're a mess.
Always. But it means a lot to me because I haven't traveled as much, but it's always something about coming back to your roots, and being that you've been to Europe, you've been all around the world, you've been around so many people, and to feel like it's just no place like being yourself. What advice would you give for our younger generation who's lost in today's society of social media and getting trapped in this facade of what's fake versus just being truly authentic?
Nah, you know, I used to be embarrassed to tell people I was from Waukegan because it's North Chicago, and Waukegan, that's where no money is, and then for 45 minutes it's of wealth. You know, so my advice for now in this time of day is put your phone away. You say I've traveled all over the world. I did when I was young, and everybody called me a wandering nomad and made fun, and I went after my dreams, had no money, came out the mud, slept on the couch. But honest to God, it's because I would sit around and think and pray and meditate and ask God, where do you want me to be? I envision this whole thing about manifesting is real. You know what I mean?
That's the secret.
Yeah, and I didn't travel for 15 years. Now I'm traveling. I'm sharing this gift, sharing my single, No Place Like Home, because home is more than just, I thought I would be back home sooner, but home is more than just a place. It's the people who believe in you.
Yes, it
who
is.
you say, I want to do this, and they say, go for it. It doesn't have to be where you grow up. So it means it's a place in your heart more than just a place.
Oh, that's so deep. That's beautiful. Because collaboration, partnership is very big in this industry. Like you say earlier behind the camera, you said a lot of people see the glitz and the glam, and they see you now, and they see the magazines and the photo shoots, and they don't know what it took to get here. All the many sacrifices, the times you didn't eat what you wanted to eat, didn't sleep how you wanted to sleep.
Girl.
Journey, you want to tell me a little bit about that?
I mean, honestly, like, it's the perfect Cinderella story. Like, I made the dress for everybody else to go to the ball, and I wasn't mad about it. Like, there were times where I envied my friends who had gone from nothing to now sharing their music like I'm doing. I envied their travel, but I never coveted. Like, I never pocket watched nobody. I always really, I don't know, I just was so happy for everyone. And I think when you realize it, it's their time right now. Shout out to Melissa Garrett, Malissa.
Okay. Shout out to Grandma.
Shout out to Grandma and my great-grandma, who's 94, who has a blues guitar in her hand, praising the Lord every day, and she prayed for this. She said, Melissa, you've helped so many people. I said Grandma's
prayers, those long prayers. Then like
she
praying
said
Grandma.
to me, I'm so happy you've helped so many people, and God gave you a heart to serve, but we've been waiting for this your whole life.
Ooh, your whole life.
Yeah. So, and I'm just grateful that I fell in love with my husband at the Black Banker. Everyone's like, are you going to wear this ring? I am not ever taking this ring off.
As you should not.
We're one, so why not share that, our love inspired everything that's happening here.
And I was in your business a little bit, because, I had to figure out No Place Like Home. So you work with Ashley and Mr. Eric Wilson.
So Eric and I, we started writing together, and shout out to Mark Batson. I cannot do this interview without saying, and Craig Snyder. Craig and I did 50 songs before I got to Mark Batson, 8-time Grammy winner, Alicia Keys, India Arie. My favorite songs with Anthony Hamilton, Coming From Where I'm From, Charlene. He's like, you guys are Ashford and Simpson, and you are paying homage to the blues. So many genres took from the blues. I feel like it was disrespected like hip-hop was in the early 2000s, and I feel like if I can bring some sunshine blues, that's what I'm calling it, honey. We ain't gonna be the dog.
It is sunshine blues.
I just lost my wine, boy. I did have to put my dog bottle down. We're not gonna be talking about all the sad stuff. There's some realness in the songs. Which we'll share some new songs with you soon. But this song here, it's really about I didn't let go. I didn't let go and I didn't forget. Yeah, you get knocked over, you can't let go. It's like brush your shoulders off.
It do. I heard it, and it really gives me like the boom boom room freedom. Like you just, that place you would sneak away to when the world was crazy. Your mama said don't go, and the church people was judging you. This is where we let loose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm a 92
It's got
baby,
some little gospel. It's got a little gospel, a little Mahalia Jackson. I didn't let go and I didn't fall. Yeah, it's got I didn't forget. I didn't let go. I didn't forget. But
That's
really, it's
powerful.
God. Honestly, like a lot of people thank God with the awards, but for me, I had such a hard time, and man, during COVID, it brought me back to when I didn't have the meat for the chili, before I was vegan, and
hope you used the beans.
it was, and it was popping. You make a way, but it just really COVID brought me to a place where it was like, okay, Lord, and this is before Eric came on, whatever you want for me. And so we pray before every session. This song,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, we have to give it to God and say, I believe all the songs are already written. You just have to be like, shine on, rain them on down, right?
Rain on down, speak to me. Now look, we know you are a producer, Grammy Award nominated producer, industry executive, studio owner. You work with icons like Whitney Houston, Drake, Chris Brown, Lenny Kravitz, Anthony Hamilton, Usher, Carly Simon, Wiz Khalifa, Missy Elliott, T.I., Killer Mike, Tequila Josephine.
Honestly, let's get it, girl.
You have worked with, how do you keep your sound away from getting it mixed up with all these other sounds?
You know, I didn't produce everyone. I produced things like wherever I could fit in and get in. Carly Simon, I managed her and helped her do her book tour. You know, other people, I'm most known for giving a safe, peaceful place to create with good vibes. That's what all
Good
these
vibes.
people you name, most of them are people who I created a safe place for. There are times where I'm recording. There are times where I'm just getting where I fit in. You know what I mean? So, I mean, my sound is my sound. What I listen to is a lot of old time music. You know, that's what's in my soul. So my sound couldn't be anybody else's. It's just who I am.
Oh my gosh, we done got to know so much more about you, but y'all, we got to take a break and come back to this beautiful icon.
I love your energy.
We are back in City Magazine. Look, we are in Molly's world, talking about a Molly girl. And look, we're about to get really green and very clean. Did y'all not know about the Earth Girl movement? Molly. So before all this vegan, before all this pescatarian and all this green screen stuff, you have been eating healthy in your body, just natural, holistic for a long time.
Long time. Now, of course, you cheat sometimes and you don't do it all the time. But yeah, since I was a kid.
Since you were a kid.
Yeah. My Earth Girl movement is all about sustainability. You know, I think the most important thing, since we're talking about fashion, and we were talking about fashion when you guys weren't here, I wear the same thing over and over. The fashion world might be mad at me, but guess what? I like to shop small. There's a woman, there's two looks today, came from a woman out in Lawrenceville. She had a consignment store.
Wow.
So I like to shop small, Black woman-owned business. But I also, you know, I feel like there's so much manufacturing going on. I saw this picture the other day, a river of trash and plastic and clothing in India. Guys, there's so much in this country that we never have to buy another thing again. Now, do we when there's special moments? I'm not 100 crazy about it, but I try my best to be sustainable and to teach my girls that if you don't have the money for eyelashes, you don't have the money for all that, work with what God gave you. You don't have to feel ashamed if you don't have it. A lot of my being natural in my looks and my beauty was because at times I didn't have it and people would make fun. And then my courage in me would say, you know what, this is how God made me. I'm gonna be uniquely me and keep it natural. So that's where that comes. But if you got the money and you just like to do all that, do you, boo?
I love it. So you said you've always been like this since childhood. Was there anybody around you that like you took the sustainability?
My great grandmother, who I'm named after, who almost has 600 offspring. My Melissa Granny Garrett.
Wow.
Everyone in our whole family collected bags of cans from sodas, from every event that we ever had. She bought a car off of aluminum cans.
Wow.
She had a garden in the projects. Well, it was the old folks' home in the hood area, and we all ate out of her garden our whole life.
Now, I know growing up for me, it was peer pressure about us going to the Goodwill, thrifting, shopping.
All day.
So what would you say to the younger generation who wants to embrace the frugal world, but it's
I don't even think it's just like embracing the frugal world. so many people say, I can't find clothes that fit me. It's too short. It's too this. It's too that. It's too sexy. I'm trying to do an interview and I can't find anything.
Right.
Go to the thrift stores. Go embrace yourself. If that's not you, don't do it. But if it's in you, if you go and find a nice thrift store, you can find some real treasures. It's like my favorite pastime. It is.
I love it. So you grew up, you like thrifting. Now, did you ever create your own clothes? Like, were you into sewing?
Oh, I do it all the
crafting?
time.
Really?
Oh, girl, my grandmother taught, thank God for my grandmother. She taught me
Taught
how
you
to
a
sew,
lot.
taught me how to cook, taught me how to pray. I made clothes for me and Eric. Like, I don't have a lot of time to make clothes because when I'm focused on something,
Mm-hmm.
like whatever it is, business, the sustainability stuff right now, it's the music. I'm like an athlete. I go in and I focus on it. But one day I'll be able to sew and just make clothes one day.
I love it. Now, how do you find the balance in wearing so many hats? A businesswoman, a producer, an artist, you a community activist, you a keynote speaker, you're a fashion guru because you look good.
Thank you, girl. Well, you know what? It's funny because I'm not 18. Over the years, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take up yoga, do that forever. I sang forever and ever and ever. There are times in my life where I had to put one hat off.
Okay.
I had to take off my hat of being an artist because it wasn't time financially for me. When I say that, nobody was making money in music when I was being offered deals. And I'm a businesswoman, so for me, it's not about the money, fame, or attention. It's about what's smart to spend my time. And if I do this work, then when am I getting paid? And I mean, I got to know. It can't be about any of that other stuff. But you know, really it is. I really just say, God, lead me. Every morning, I'm like, Lord, where you want me to be? And Eric and I pray every single morning. We ask God, we are the clay. Let us know where to go. And it takes all the pressure away.
I really do. I really believe that how you start your day is how it usually ends. If you started in positivity and prayer and
pray
worship,
all day long, all day.
It
Thank
ends that
God
way
for everything, because there have been times recently even where I've been so afraid and had to really lay it down and be like, you're not promised every day. Why are you worrying about this? Just look at put the old man in front of you and keep it moving. And that's what sustains me. All these hats that I've worn are because God had allowed me to go through the fire in each one of these things that I do to learn it. It takes time. Fine wine takes time. It gets greater later. Shout out to Bevy Smith.
It gets greater
That's
later.
what
I
she
like
says.
that.
Yeah.
Now, your music is very transformative. It's very powerful and inspiring. And it's like you're just free on the beat. Like you don't hold
It's a
back.
blessing. It's a blessing.
How does one artist keep that space?
You know what? Shout out to Karen Brunson, who was at Northwestern University, and Jeff Morrow, and Alan Moore, and Craig Snyder, and Carl Johansson. I've had my dad, my grandparents. I grew up in the church. Shout out to my uncle and aunt DeVost. I sang my whole life. My family pushed me. We all sang. So years and years of doing it, you just have the confidence. I'll never forget once, my dad said to me, get up there and sing it the way you know God wants you to sing it. But guess what? Do the birds care when they're singing in the morning? Who's listening? Let me slow my chirp down. I don't know where it comes from. It really has to be just a spirit in me of overcoming adversity and being grateful. To take my space musically took so much because I know what comes with it. I've helped so many people, and there are parts of this business that aren't fun. I like my privacy. I like to chill. I like to get in my old drop top, my old school, and drive by myself. And, you know, there's a sacrifice that comes with it. So my hopes are that everything I do is a testimony, and it helps my Earth Girl movement and all the women and men around the world who are going through something to know, if God did it for Eric and I, if God is doing this for me, when it's your time, you'll know it. Be ready.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love your energy. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
In what ways do you see your music contributing and reflecting the contemporary blues scene?
You know what? We use a lot of blues chords. Once again, shout out to everybody in Chicago. Shout out to all the Chicago blues musicians that can't even afford their medication, but gave us so much light. Muddy Waters, he did well. And, you know, there's so many different people who did a great job in blues. But for me, you know, being in SoCal with Eric Garcia and being able to be on stage with Mo Beeks, it's a blessing. I listen to music and I look up to musicians. And so, like, going down to Memphis and being with the Mitchell family and getting in with Drummer Boy, who's from Memphis, and going out to New Orleans. I just really love it so much. I've been landing myself back in the States where blues just started. I'm really just now soaking it all in. I had it from the time I was a kid, when around the juke joint with my Uncle Brett and all my whole family playing all the, old soul stuff. But right now it's just about paying homage to the people who went before me and just shining a light and.
Now, you've produced a lot of beautiful things. You've put a lot of beautiful people together, some iconic projects to this day. Who inspires you?
My husband inspires me just
Shout out to the
because
hubby.
he
Shout out to
does.
the
He
hubby.
inspires me because he does so much in his world. Shout out to At the Black Banker. Having somebody who believes in you
Mm-hmm.
and knows your talent and is there for you and can do the business side. Like for me, I have PTSD. I've seen a lot of my friends get ripped off in this business. And so, to have somebody who understands money and how it works, it makes me more able to just spread my wings and fly because I know that I'm protected,
Okay. I like that. Shout out to the hubby. Great support system. So, look, I have 10 questions for you.
Okay.
I try to be cute, so it's called Made in Molly.
Is
You
it
ready?
10 quick shot fire?
10 quick questions. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Night or morning?
Night.
Rich and famous or famous and unknown?
Famous and unknown. That's why I've been in Paris and all over Europe. I've been out there. But if I am known, I really hope that I'm known for putting God first and spreading a message of hope and bringing some kind of just love back into the world in my music. I think the music lost the love when the money came involved. So that's it. Yeah.
Passenger or driver?
Depends on the time. I love to be a muse and I love to be driven, but I'm also a driver, so it just depends. I get
Okay.
in where I fit in.
Art museum or history museum?
History of music I've studied my whole life, and I really, really love the museum, the Black Music Museum, Black History Museum in D.C. we went to, and I loved the whole, so I'd have to say the history of music in museums. The one in Nashville's sick too, girl.
Well, I gotta go to that one.
Yeah.
Would you rather owe money or owe a favor?
I don't like to owe nobody no money. Because I
Say
could get a favor in, girl.
Don't put that in the atmosphere. We owe nobody.
No.
Would you hang out with little kids or old folks?
Oh, that's a tie.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. It's a tie.
It's a
I
tie?
have little kid and old folk friends.
Not 51-49?
No, I mean, I'd rather hang out with the old folks. Let me be real, because they got all the knowledge.
They
And
got
knowledge
the
is power.
knowledge,
Let's
the
go.
wisdom.
Let's go.
Cash or credit?
Cash, baby.
Cash, baby. Red wine or white wine?
It depends. It's like depends. If it's a hot day, I might like a nice Sancerre. If I'm ready for bed, before bed, and I'm reading a nice book, I might have a nice red.
I love it. Well, before I let you go, I just want you to give some Molly magic to the world and let them just a little bit more into who you really are.
No, I'm just, you know what? I'm just a girl. I'm just a woman. I'm that dude sometimes. I'm the man sometimes. Not with my husband, but out in that world sometimes I've had to be that. I think, for me, I could just tell you guys anything. Don't give up. When you're at this is Mental Health Awareness Month. If you are at your low point, what's helped me the most is do not be in the middle of what you're in the middle of.
Ooh.
You got to look to the stars. You got to know that everything that happens for a purpose. You are being tried in the fire. I can now, just sitting here with you, think of all those times where I was on my knees like, Lord, I know this is all for a reason, but I'm hurting. It's okay to accept where you are, but
Yes,
don't
it
be in the
is.
middle of what you're in the middle of. You can make it if you don't worry how long it takes, I promise. If you
Mic
don't
drop.
care.
You hear it? Mic drop. Because, baby, that is
Baby, I like
beautiful.
that.
That is
You got this.
beautiful. I mean, it has been such a great interview, and just watching you just be yourself behind the scenes. I love
Thank
how
you,
you
girl.
come in. You know what you like. You know how to direct. You like how things to look a certain way. Very articulate to detail.
Thank you.
I can just see that about you. You're so fun.
It's not my
But-
first time at the rodeo, and I've been able and blessed to watch so many people. You talked about the recording studios. I've owned them since I was 20 years old, and to see people do photo shoots. I've been so blessed to shoot with Sandro Miller and Eric Johnson and some of the icons out in the fashion world. So, you know, I was just really, really grateful for In the City magazine and having the opportunity to sit with you and to shoot with the maestro over here, the man behind the camera. I'm just grateful.
Well, thank you so much. And y'all heard it best. Please be sure to stream her single, No Place Like Home.
And then Mali, don't think it's Molly like Molly Ringwald. It's Mali, Mali like the country in Africa. So at IAM_MALI on Instagram. And if TikTok's still alive, at Mrs. MRS MALI Wilson.
I heard they came to an agreement. They put music
I don't
back.
know. Molly
So
Wilson's the name, and they getting on these interviews is a game right now, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, it has been such a pleasure. Please go out and stream her single, No Place Like Home. Let it resonate. Turn up. Get your little wine, a little jukebox. Have fun. Make sure y'all tap in with In the City magazine. Be blessed. Be safe. We're out.